Hey, this is back at Total Paranormal. This is me, Michael, and we got Cody right here. What's up? So we're over here at the Simpson Cemetery. People who were buried here historically was African American. This is the historic African American cemetery for Mount Dora, and apparently that it's so old that most of the stuff has broken down to where it was actually forgotten for quite some time. Then the church here was doing a survey, and they started finding all the bodies out here, and they re-put out markers of everywhere where they're at, and they tried cataloging and finding history of who exactly it was that was buried out here. So here's one of the things here you can see. It says Mount Carmel Simpson Cemetery, and I believe these little concrete pillars are put in here was put in from the surveyors that found that there was remains buried in those spots, I believe. If there's anybody here who would like to communicate with us, we have the ghost meter right here, and if you come over here and touch it, you can make the needle go up, and it causes it to light up and beep. Maybe turn the spirit box on and see if we get any voices. Maybe we can ask its name. What is your name? Would you like to communicate with us? Were you buried here in the Simpson Cemetery? What is your name? I'm sorry, what's that? How did you die? Unfortunately, this grave marker is so old that I can't quite make out the name that would be on it. We're definitely getting some voices from the voice box here, but I can't quite make it out right now in real time what they're saying. I'm gonna keep walking now. There's some other really older ones over here that I'm really curious to get a better look at. Unfortunately, even though this cemetery was redone, they seem to still have the ground pretty not well taken care of, I would say. What's up? What's up? Are you upset that they have forgotten this cemetery? Are you angry that nobody comes and visits you anymore? Well, these are some really ancient gravestones right here. They're very interesting to actually see these relics. Oh wow, these ones you can actually make out some stuff that's on them. Wow, this one died back in 1925 at the age of 76, it looks like. Have you ever noticed that anytime, it seems like when you're in a cemetery, that the way they do it is to where that the headstone always faces with the letters towards where the sun rises. So that if they were to wake up and sit up straight, they'd be facing the sun. So it's like their feet is always towards where the sun rises, and their head is always towards where the sun sets. I find that interesting. Is that maybe part of the ritual why they say that cemeteries are only places from sunrise to sunset?
Well, I'd rather die facing the light than facing the darkness behind me.
So essentially, probably if you're facing the darkness, then that might mean that you're bad, or you're going to hell or something.
In a way.
Okay. This is definitely an interesting cemetery. It's pretty sad though that even though this was forgotten, that it seems like once they found out and rediscovered this place, that they seem to not really be taking the most excellent care of it, which is really a shame. You would think if they went through the work to rediscover a cemetery like this and put down the plotters and stuff and do surveys like that, that they would at least do a little more work to help keep it upkept and not let it get overgrown to where it's almost as bad as probably when it was when they found it. It's pretty sad. I'm sure though that probably though that the brush was so overgrown that you couldn't probably even make out any of these stones. It's amazing that some of these stones have even survived for who knows how long this cemetery actually is. There's actually a storyboard, it looks like, over that way, but there's some pretty thick brush. We might have to go around a different way, but I'm kind of curious to see if this kind of says how exactly old this cemetery really is historically, if there is any documentation of that. So here you see a sign here that says, "In remembrance of the reverence to all those who eternally rest here, the following committed their efforts and resources to discover of those long forgotten and towards the creation of everlasting access." So these are all the people here of the Catholic Church that actually helped found and discover this relic here, this old historic cemetery. But I find it kind of hard to believe though that Hello? I heard this beep, but I'm trying to debunk it here. My phone is in my pocket, but
no,
I'm not hearing nothing.
You're right, there's something here. My hair is standing up. Hello? Who's here? It's alright. We're visitors. My name's Cody and this is my friend Michael. I just noticed that this cemetery was not completely cleaned up. Someone said pardon.
Huh.
But my name is Cody and it's nice to meet you, whomever is here with me.
And my name is Michael.
I am a Lower Muskogee Creek, part Cherokee. So who is here? You can speak in this box. Good morning. I just noticed there's a lot of people here. But not all of you have been marked, haven't you? I wish there was something I could do to help, but I don't know what I could.
Are you upset because your grave was not marked? Do you feel like you have been forgotten?
maybe have a lot of trees and growth, but in a way it does feel peaceful.
True.
So it really doesn't take away from so-called positivity or negativity. It's just at peace. Are you at peace? Give me a big shout out if you're at peace. I'll put some of my power into it. Can you say yeah?
Just say yeah.
I'm glad to hear you're okay. So what's the afterlife like? I haven't been there yet, so... Yeah, the afterlife. Hasn't anybody gone yet? You know, the life after this one. Because most spirits here, you're in limbo. You haven't really crossed over yet. You did? Then why are you still here?
I thought I heard that beat.
Is it because your grandchildren are here? That's why you haven't passed over yet. Your next generations. I can understand that. You're welcome. Now, I do have a big question. How many people are here with us? I know there's me and Michael, but how many people in general? Because even though you're a spirit, you're still human. So how many? Did you say 20? Or did you say 10? 20. Okay. We're gonna walk over to somebody's grave. You're welcome to keep talking if you want.
So it looks like from the spirit box here, we've pretty much found out that there is at least 20 spirits out here with us right now. Here in the Simpson Cemetery. Oh wow, here's one of those ones where it has like the above ground looking thing. Interesting. Looks like this one was buried here in 1956.
Jesse, are you here? I know you just touched the spirit box. Jesse, my name's Cody Foster. Nice to meet you. Likewise. I'm out here to help anybody if they want, but of course it's still your decision. Do you feel like crossing over? I mean, I may not be a priest or an exorcist, but I have friends that tell me I got some interesting energy or power. Are you a person of the gospel and God? Oh yeah, step off where you're stepping. You're near a tomb. Hello. Who's this? I'm sorry, but you know the spirit box is... So, how long have you been here? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Is there somebody sitting at the bench on my right? Who's over there? In the memory of Larry Brisky, 1944-1957. Hello? Leroy, is that you? Hey Leroy, what kind of work did you do? I'm sorry, I was kind of moving the box around. Can you say that again, please? Yeah, there's fire ants around, I've noticed. Yeah, there was a fire ant that got on my foot, I'm sorry. It's alright, I didn't get bit or anything. So, where's everyone else? Dora! Dora, are you here? It's Dora. I'll take that as a yes. Hello. There you go. That way your grave looks a lot nicer. Hi Dora, my name is Cody. This is my friend Michael. How are you doing today? Portal? What do you mean by a portal?
Is there a portal here?
Is it on the ground or is it above us? Or is it somewhere in the cemetery that... I'm sorry, could you say that again, please? Hello.
I forgive you.
Forgive for what?
You just turned it on? Okay.
Whomever is around us, you have the option to speak. Whom is here with us? What's your name? Where are you from? Were you born here? You may speak. Whomever is here around me, you may speak in the ghost box. My name is James Cody Foster. It is nice to meet you. Are you drawn to the cross that I am wearing? Sir? Who's there? If somebody is around me, could you make your presence known?
Simpson Cemetery here, that we're getting quite a bit of EVPs, electronic voice phenomenals. Seems to be the major thing that we're getting. We didn't really get too much, I don't think, with the EMFs. The electromagnetic, we use the ghost meter, and then I had the ELF, which is the extremely low electromagnetic field frequency device, and I didn't seem to be getting too much of any activity from those devices. But using the SB11 spirit box, I believe we got a lot of voices through here. I believe we got quite a bit of answers for things that we're wondering about with this cemetery. Wouldn't you agree that we got quite a bit of answers, I think, from
Yeah.
the spirit box?
Yeah. I think it was pretty cool when they asked who was here in the last 65 years, and they said 6. And we count as number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky number. So, mostly unmarked graves, I think they said their name, but, you know, on the spirit box it doesn't come out clearly.
Yeah.
So, you got to work with whatever you can actually hear.
I think it also depends on how much energy those spirits are able to manipulate.
And my guess, I'm just jumbling some numbers in my head, but 16 people have already passed on, amongst whomever is still here walking in limbo.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't moved on to heaven, hell, or the afterlife.
And they said there was about 20, they said, right?
Yeah.
So far. So about 20 souls here have not moved on. Well, that's been the Simpson Cemetery. Been Michael and Cody here. Pretty good investigation. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, tell us what you think, and we'll be definitely doing something like this again. For being in the daytime, I think we got quite a bit of activity.
Yeah, and without all the scary cryptids and sentient beings that go crash in the night, I'm glad we didn't run into anything in the daytime.
Yeah, go ahead and describe a little bit about the last episode here with what we saw out there.
Okay, from the way it was moving, it moved as fast as a wolf or a dog. But when I catch back on the memory, when I saw it, it had hands like a human, but a body like a wolf. So at first I thought, you know, being a skeptic, I got to rule out a couple of things. Maybe it could have been a dog, but if it was a dog, it would be growling by the time it was running.
Maybe also chasing us too, instead of moving like sideways and away from us, kind of.
But the way it moved, it kind of reminded me of tactics. Guerrilla warfare is the kind of way it moved and shifted into the trees. But by the time it stood up, it approximately looked 7 foot tall. It had a human-like head. It was kind of rounded, bulked out neck, and a tall, muscular body. And it hid between the 2 trees at the far end. And when I look back, I'm like, okay, so it's not what I thought it was. So I remember of studying different Nordic creatures from mythology standpoints, and there was 3 options, I thought. One, it probably was a ghoul. Ghouls stay around graveyards. They love eating the flesh of the dead, and that makes as a good, if you want to call it a base or a nest. Another thing to rule out is it could have been some hoglings. A hogling is a mixture sometimes between a boar and a human, but it wasn't that because they run in packs. The last thought, which really didn't escape my mind, was a liking. The reason I really don't believe in werewolves and vampires is I haven't been up close to see one. But the way it looked, it shape-shifted. It started out as a creature, then it became a human. So another thing, I know you're not supposed to say this in the West. You're not even supposed to say it here, but the word skinwalker. A human that takes the form of an animal and later on shifts back into a human. What I saw was just like a skinwalker. They start out as a creature, and the way that they ran was as fast of that creature. And by the time they stood up, 7 foot tall, and they hid in the trees. To me, that was a skinwalker. And I'm glad we did not stay there, because if it claims that as its territory, it probably would have ripped us to shreds. Or just say, get out.
Yeah, pretty much after we saw whatever that was that we saw, we were like, the heck with that, and we got out of there.
Yeah.
So till next time, this has been Total Paranormal. Me, Michael, and
Cody.
Alright, see ya.